Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa, coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Prominent lay Christians from around the world have started a campaign to foster global communal prayer for the persecuted people in China. The prayer week will begin on May 23rd and will come to a close on May 30th. The initiative was undertaken by laymen around the world after Cardinal Charles Bo of Myanmar called for the prayer for the church and the people of China. Some of the prominent figures behind this campaign include U.S. Congressman Chris Smith, Lord David Alton of the UK, Canadian lawmaker Garnet Janis, and Irish entrepreneur Declan Ganley. The human rights situation in China has worsened over the years. There are reports that over 1 million Uyghur Muslims have been detained in concentration camps where they are subjected to torture and sexual violence. The communist government of Beijing is also cracking down on underground Christian communities which are not registered. Coinciding with the beatification of Italian judge Rosario Livatino, who was killed by the mafia, on May 9 Sunday, the Vatican's dicastery for promoting integral human development has announced the formation of a working group which will excommunicate Catholics associated with the mafia. The dicastery, presided over by Cardinal Peter Turkson, had already created a global network against corruption and organized crime in 2018. In his encyclical Fratelli Tutti, Pope Francis says that organized crime outfits present themselves as protectors of people while pursuing their criminal interest. Earlier, Pope St. John Paul II had made an appeal for the conversion of the mafiosi in May 1993, and his successor, Pope Benedict XVI, had termed the mafia as, quote, a road to death. In 2014, Pope Francis had excommunicated the mafiosi in Sibari. In the Chinese-ruled territory of Macau, the government authorities have decided to issue postal stamps featuring Our Lady of Fatima. This comes as a tribute to the tradition of devotion to the Blessed Mother by Catholics in the former Portuguese colony. The Directorate of Postal and Telecommunication Services will issue a set of 2 stamps and block featuring the traditional procession of Our Lady of Fatima on May 13. The stamps will be published on the day the Church commemorates the apparition of Our Lady to 3 shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal on May 13, 1917. In Macau, the Feast of Our Lady of Fatima was introduced in 1929 by then Portuguese Bishop José de Costa Nunes, and it features a colorful procession which has become an annual feature. In 2019, the government included the procession in its list of intangible cultural heritage. With the South American nation of Colombia witnessing a fortnight of protests against the president's proposed tax hike that would cause prices of essential items to go up, the Catholic bishops held a prayer and fasting on Friday, May 7. In a statement issued on May 5th, Wednesday, the bishops rejected the acts of vandalism, human rights violation, and blockage of food supplies. They also upheld the right of civilians to protest peacefully. As many as 37 people have been killed in violent protests, and 89 are reported missing. Following the outrage, President Ivan Duque canceled the tax hike proposal on Sunday, and the finance minister resigned the following day. After the U.S. state of Colorado witnessed a tragic shooting on Sunday, May 9, in which 6 people were killed, the Bishop of Colorado Springs, Michael Sheridan, has called for prayers. The incident took place when a gunman arrived at a birthday celebration in a mobile home community and opened fire. Fortunately, all children were unharmed as they were asleep in another room. The attacker took his life after gunning down the 6 people. Mourning the deaths, Bishop Michael Sheridan said, quote, "We have seen far too many of these horrific acts in recent decades, and only the love of Christ will overcome the crushing despair that is a common symptom of the culture of death." The bishop invited all the faithful to pray for both the victims and the survivors. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, has penned the preface of a new book on the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola. The book by Father Miguel Angel Fiorito consists of a collection of flashcards, which the Pope describes as, quote, a literary genre of its own, with thoughts by various authors on spiritual exercises. In a video message on Monday, May 10, the Holy Father gave some of his reflections on the book, which is titled, quote, Cercare e trovare la volontà di Dio, in Italian, which means seeking and finding the will of God. Pope Francis said the concept of personal reform is expanded and deepened in the spiritual exercises. Over the centuries, the spiritual exercises by St. Ignatius has helped enrich the lives of Catholics during retreats. The Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem and other Christian leaders have called for peace in the Holy City in the wake of clashes between Palestinians and Israeli forces. In a statement issued on May 10, the Latin Patriarchate and Christian leaders expressed deep concern over the violence in Al-Aqsa Mosque and Sheikh Jarrah. Patriarch Pier Battista Pizzaballa said the attacks violate the sanctity of Jerusalem as a city of peace, adding that no one can exclusively claim the city. The Patriarch urged everyone to respect the status quo of all holy places. In the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, Palestinians were denied access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that led to a series of clashes between Israeli security forces and Palestinians. Since last Friday, more than 300 people have been injured in clashes. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.